Tonight we were at the Lindell Elementary School at South Nassau. Executive Board came to Long Beach to hear the concerns of the residents about the Barrier Island having a full service hospital. And a lot of the concerns of Long Beach residents is that of the $170 million from FEMA, only $40 million was earmarked for Long Beach. So very interesting. The fact that a lot of Long Beach residents, from city council members to residents, got to voice their concerns to South Nassau that they want the entire $170 million for Long Beach Hospital, and the residents of Long Beach want a full service hospital in Long Beach. So that's what you're going to see tonight.
I come to you tonight not as the City Council President, and as you can see, I'm not dressed like a politician, because I am not a politician. And I have to say that I come to you tonight with a message as a resident of Long Beach. I'm probably the only person on the City Council who's had the first-hand experience of having to have their mother, and my mother just 2 blocks away from here, had a heart attack in 1973, actually it was 74, and thanks to the kind of response we had at the time, and we still have, from our fire department, we were able to get my mother to the Long Beach Hospital within 10 minutes. And I think that, and I rode in the ambulance with her, and just the fact that we were able to get my mother to the hospital that quickly. And I've asked this question before, and I brought this up to various members of the South Nassau Board, and of course during that period of time, maybe she was just treated with aspirin 30-something years ago. But the fact was that her face, when she entered that hospital that quickly, was such a relief for her that I believe it helped in that recovery for her. The second thing that happened in 1995, I was injured as school principal out in Riverhead and had to have back surgery. I chose between North Shore Hospital and Long Beach Hospital. I wanted to be next to my kids when I was having that surgery, that back surgery. And again, my children, I was glad that I was here, that there was a hospital here. My concern as a resident of Long Beach is that although, and I have a background in statistics, in psychometrics, and I want you to know that I appreciate very much Dr. Blotting's work, the work in the statistical realm, what this means, but there's a human factor that we need to look at here that is a part of recovery, a part of getting better, and that is that sense of security that a hospital brings. I challenge everyone to not just look at numbers. Let's not just look at numbers, let's look at the human factor. Thank you.
In over 3 years since the Long Beach Hospital closed its doors after Superstorm Sandy, and as a result, our city by the sea has witnessed a decline in comprehensive quality health care and consequently our quality of life. Quality health care, as defined by the Institute of Medicine, is safe, effective, patient-centered, timely, efficient, as well as equitable. The present urgent care system fails to provide these critical variables in totality. First, quality health care must be equitable. The reality is that 30% of the Long Beach population heavily relies on Medicaid to pay for medical costs. Transportation and the costs associated with transportation are common challenges for those seeking care, for those needing follow-up appointments. Thus, when disadvantaged members of society are unable to access basic civil liberties and human rights due to race, gender, social class, age, or any other factor, it creates injustice within the society. The access to comprehensive quality health care or lack thereof is a prevailing challenge in Long Beach, and as it is on a national level, raising the question, who really deserves quality health care? Tonight we must ask the question, could it be because persons living in poverty in Oceanside are approximately 3.7%, whereas persons living in poverty are approximately 8.9% in Long Beach? In 2016, having access to quality health care should not be determined by where you live. I recognize that healthcare is a business, and the business of healthcare emphasizes the astronomical cost of hospital services. Cost as a determining factor is a valid concern, but when a hospital organization partners with the community, community to promote the well-being of residents, healthy lifestyles, as well as disease prevention and awareness through public health education, the cost associated with the business of healthcare business becomes less burdensome. From a marketing standpoint, I believe that visibility in Long Beach could also yield financial rewards for South Nassau. Secondly, quality healthcare must be timely. Leaving an individual's life in the hands of a closed drawbridge is completely unacceptable. A barrier island is comprised of the largest concentration of elderly living in Nassau County, and thus a delayed or complicated transport is equally unacceptable. Our current system fails to provide services which include but are not limited to many of the items. Thirdly, although close in proximity, Long Beach as well as Oceanside are uniquely distinct. The median income can be $97,000, whereas in Long Beach the median income is $3,000. However, the most recent data evidence proves that within the area of Long Beach, 83% of the citizens are white, whereas 85% are white in Oceanside. And when we look at the details in terms of who's living in Long Beach, 6% are black and Latino, or 14%. I strongly believe that all members of Long Beach matter and their lives should be valued and treated with dignity. Long Beach was severely affected by Superstorm Sandy, and a medical campus could bring jobs back to the numerous hospital workers still seeking jobs since the close of the hospital, and revenue to the small businesses in our business district, and more importantly, restore the quality of life that our citizens desperately deserve. I hope that you will reconsider at this time, because justice delayed is still justice denied. I hope that you will remember and plan and at this time try and make the attempt to restructure the allotment of FEMA funds, because Long Beach desperately needs a hospital, and I thank you for your time.
And resident of Long Beach for way over 60 years. Many of our neighbors on this barrier island are still trying to rebuild their homes, recovering from Sandy's devastation in 2012. Our City Council and other elected persons have worked with FEMA to secure the dollars to rebuild our barrier island better and stronger. Yet almost 4 years after Sandy, we still do not have an adequate medical facility. Sadly, the South Nassau proposal will not yield the medical services this community needs and demands for the future. We implore our elected officials, and we're so proud of our City Council for speaking this evening, thank you, South Nassau and our community leaders to work together to a new goal, to produce a blueprint and strategies to build a financially sustainable hospital that meets our critical medical needs and that would be better and stronger than the last one we had. This evening you will hear many speakers. Some important facts will be emphasized, highlighting the medical and economic risks we face, and why the proposed South Nassau solution is not in the best interests of our community. Using the same data as South Nassau's consultant, we came to different conclusions. We, the Barrier Island community, are at significantly greater risk for heart attacks, stroke, trauma, hip fractures, at-risk pregnancies, and behavioral problems. These conditions are better served by a hospital here, not miles away. The report fails to state that there were over 800 bridge openings in 2015, highlighting a travel risk. This evening, community members will speak to the survey methodology used by South Nassau. We will point out the shortcomings of the survey, including the flawed conclusion that residents are satisfied with their medical services. We will announce over 1,000 residents who have signed petitions stating that they are unhappy with medical services presently. And very importantly, the financial conclusions put forth by South Nassau are questionable. The South Nassau estimate of a $10 million loss for a Long Beach hospital is quite flawed. Beach to Bay has put together a team of financial experts, including a well-respected CEO of a large hospital system, to go over the figures. We asked South Nassau to discuss these findings with these experts. Almost done. And we are prepared to file a lawsuit against FEMA, questioning whether $130 million of FEMA funds should be spent in Oceanside, while our Barrier Island community has significant medical needs that require consideration. We respectfully request, yet again, that South Nassau listen to the voices of the residents on this Barrier Island. Do the right thing, work with community representatives and elected officials to deliver an appropriate medical solution for our residents and visitors for the decades to come. Thank you so much.
Since 1965. I've been a practicing orthopedic surgeon here and at Stony Brook University Hospital. I'm now retired. I, by the way, was surprised by the statistics quoted earlier in Dr. Vladek's discussion, in that the nursing home population was not considered. And then they stated that there were about 600 nursing home beds in the 4 zip codes that are included. There are not 600 nursing home beds. According to the New York State Department of Health, there are 1,035 nursing home beds. These elderly people are especially fragile and especially utilize hospital facilities. Hip fractures are common, as you noted on your slide. There are chronic diseases that can easily be treated at a local institution. The morbidity in Long Beach, if you use the statistics of the New York State Department of Health and the Nassau County Department of Health in the Nassau-Queens Performing Provider System Community Health Needs Assessment of 2014, states that as far as cardiovascular morbidity is concerned, these are numbers per 100,000 population. Long Beach is about 420. Nassau County is 250. Stroke. Long Beach, 425. Nassau County as a whole, 350. Diabetes, an especially destructive disease because it requires repeated episodes of hospitalization, and where delays in treatment occur, we find loss of various vital organs, including limbs, kidneys, and hearts. Diabetes, 200 Long Beach Island, Nassau County, 150. Falls, a particular problem in the elderly and the cause of trauma, especially hip fractures. Long Beach, 625, Nassau County, 450. These, for the most part, represent chronic diseases. Chronic heart, lung, kidney, diabetes require hospitalization from time to time and with follow-up in between. With the absence of a local hospital, the fragility of the population, and the special difficulties in transportation to and from a hospital. There is no good transportation from here to South Nassau. Taxi cabs is about $50 round trip, and the elderly don't drive. All of these people have to go without the needed care or find that care is delayed. The care is either delayed or difficult to obtain because of the transportation problems and the lack of physician availability. By the way, the few physicians that we have left on the island are on the brink of retirement. A freestanding emergency department is not sufficient. In addition, it's not financially feasible. We were told by the people from South Nassau that the present emergency department is losing $100,000 a month. That's $1.2 million a year. This is not a third world country. We need a real hospital. Thank you.